And welcome back to Jeff Koinange, live at the Intercontinental Hotel here with a guest who, I tell you, he needs to come back over and over again, because when Chris Foot shows up, people listen, people tweet, people respond, tweets come in thick and fast, Chris. In fact, all I can say is, oh my, one my. How do you say one my in Kalenjin?
Now you're going to throw me. About that. Ask my relative in the back.
Trick question. Fauz Khalid says, should Chris stand for office, he will be lonely most of the time because he's too intelligent for Kenyan politics. Fauz, my brother, I agree, man. I agree.
We should tell my teacher that. He'd have been... Now he's laughing.
Were you smart in school?
You know what? I think kids mature at different times.
Yeah.
So I peaked when I was about 11. I was the brightest kid in class, everything. And then it went downhill from there on. And I'm gradually climbing my way back up again, you know. A lot of enterprise and hard work. So there's hope for everyone, Jeff.
There's hope.
There's hope for everyone.
Martin Munyua says, can the chairman of KFC, Kenya Film Commission, talk about film in Kenya and the current situation? Real quick.
Very quick. Very exciting. Kenya Film Commission, we have two mandates. One is to build up our local film industry, our local competence, our local capacity, and the other is to sell Kenya to the world as a filming destination. On the former, we run programs, training workshops, script writing, camera work. We help support various activities. In the budget, CS Retich very graciously has agreed that we have come up with a whole tranche of things. No tax on any camera equipment, film equipment, which is wonderful. No VAT on film goods and services, so that's really exciting. So there's a whole load of those sort of things, which is going to be a real boom to the film industry here. We've fought for the 40% content, which now all media, including KTN, are now beginning to get to, so that's very exciting. So there's a lot of things that's happening. We're trying to build up the film culture, screen culture, which we don't traditionally have. That's one good thing. On the international side, we were losing films left, right, and center, feature films being made to South Africa. The main reason, because we trump them on topography. We've got beach to snow to desert to forest to, you name it, we've got that. Cultures, we're the only country in Africa that representative of every cultural group, from Kushite to Neolithic to you name it. We have them, so we don't have to ship in particular groups. We've got most of those things. The one area, we're on the equator, filming on the equator, the light is much better than down south. The one thing they beat us on was their tax rebate. And they said, we will give you a 25 to 35% tax rebate when you come and make a movie here. Again, for the first time in Kenya's history, we managed to get it into the budget. So government, and this is one of the things, we have a president who gets film. It's really exciting. He understands what it is. He understands the value it can bring to a country. I mean, a classic case is, a movie comes here, international movie comes here, they drop 50 million. If you look at the figures from Tomb Raider or Constant Garden, they come in big money. Drop that, that's direct money. Then there's spin-off, which is the guys who come and Mama Mboga, the taxis, the hotels. Then the guys who learn to cut their teeth working alongside international skills. There's those guys. But more importantly, there is film tourism. Take something like Frozen, which your kids have watched, everyone's kids has watched. Tourism went up 200% because of Frozen. One movie, 200% increase in tourism in Norway. If you look at all the Lord of the Rings series, year on year, since the first one came up, 60% increase to tourism to New Zealand. If you look at Skyfall with Dubai, I can give you countless examples. Film is the best tourism motivator you can do.
So with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie coming to do the Leakey movie, that's going to be huge.
Yep, and we've been working with Richard Leakey, the Film Commission's been working on it. We've bent over backwards. OP has been really working on it, and I think we've got it. They're trying to tweak a few of their own issues. There's a few issues they have to tweak that end.
Is it going to happen?
I think there's probably about an 85% chance it's going to happen, and we hope it happens. It'll be great for Kenya. And in these trying times, what better? 70% of people who were asked in a national park why they came to Kenya, you know what they said? They saw it first in Out of Africa. That was a film from 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah. So film, I mean, my biggest grudge, my biggest gripe is our budget. And you know who you are, you know what the budget we've got, I won't say it on public, but it is derisory, the budget we get as Film Commission. And I can say that because I'm passionate about Kenyan film and I'm passionate about film and TV in this country.
Yeah. Derisory, is that English?
I think so. I'll look it up later.
Thank you. Before we go to Leakey, because we've got to talk about poaching.
Yeah.
Frederick Okango.
Yeah.
He's at Fokango.
At Fokango?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
He says, this guy, CK Foot, is the Kenyan Obama. We need him up there.
That's very kind. That's very gracious of him. I think Obama's taller than me. And married with 2 children.
He's got hair.
He has hair, but you know
It's
what?
graying. It's graying.
God gives you a certain amount of hormones. If you want to waste it growing hair, that's your business. But anyway,
You make it up in other.
this is public.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Richard Leakey.
Richard Leakey. I think it's going to be very interesting. As I said, inspired that they made him chairman.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a very interesting is an understatement time, because things have moved on since he was the director at KWS.
Right.
One, with the new constitution and the way KWS is run, boards, and I speak from my own experience as chairman of a board, one of the things is boards cannot micromanage. It's one of the fundamental things we are told we can't do. So the days of chairman calling up and saying do A, B, C, and D, very hard. So I think Richard will find that quite hard. In terms of what KWS has to give out to the counties, it's no longer as centralized as it was. The counties have a lot bigger say in terms of how wildlife is done. But he's got a vision, he's got the international gravitas, he can bring in the money, people respect him, and he's zero tolerance on corruption, and he's one of the key things he did when he was director of KWS was build the morale of KWS.
Yeah, I was speaking to, sorry to cut you off, Dr. Paula Kahumbu last week. She says every time she speaks to him, he has so much energy now, more energy than before.
Yeah.
It's like a new Richard Leakey has come up.
Well, it's very good. The one area where I may or may not agree with him is on the poaching. I am a fundamental believer in we have to go back to the days of consumptive utilization. And now let me explain what that means.
Please.
Which is, we have relied on, since 1977 when hunting got banned, we've relied on a model which has used tourism as a conservation model. And if you look at what has happened since 1977, our wildlife has reduced by 70 to 80%. Okay? And that was because back before then, people, particularly communities, had an economic benefit from wildlife. You could shoot it, you could eat it, you could trade the skins, you could sell it, you could do anything with it. Yeah?
Yeah.
That all went 1977 and subsequently. And so the only benefit a community or a pastoralist or somebody like that could get from that animal was a tourist. Now, 70% of our wildlife is outside game parks. It's in northeastern, it's in places tourists don't go. So what incentive is there, let's say Northern Rift, Baringa, where I come from, what incentive is there for the community to look after those wildlife which trample their crops, kill them, when there's no tourists there? The only incentive for them would be to treat them like livestock, and it's unpalatable to a lot of people who have, have emotionalized the issue. Wildlife needs to be treated like livestock. It gives it economic value. South Africa did the opposite of us. They monetarized all their wildlife. Yeah. Their wildlife has increased by 80%. Their wildlife population has gone from 2 million in 1970 to over 20 million heads of livestock, of wildlife. Because you can now take your buffalo as a community and sell it to that guy there for 20. Cyril Ramaphosa paid $1 million last year for a buffalo to take to his game ranch. Now, if you have buffalo in your shamba now, you're going to kill it?
No.
Of course not. You'll say, Yanni, this one,
it's going to attract.
Yeah. So we need to fundamentally change that whole dynamic and get away from the few bunny huggers who've held our wildlife policy by the throat and say, listen, communities need economic benefit. That's not saying there are some very good tourist models that are working now. And I take my hat off to those guys. There's a few guys in the Mara and conservancies like Ipia who've got a wonderful tourism model which is helping conservation. But we need to be able to bring back the use of game in terms of, if you have excess zebra and you have to kill them, we're Africans. We kill them, we sell that meat, we sell the skin, we sell it to somebody else, we make money from it, and I'll look after the next zebra.
And they call that culling?
That's called culling, that's consumptive utilization. Yeah.
And it can work?
South Africa's shown it does work. Yeah. South Africans model, their wildlife has gone through the roof, ours has gone this way. Yeah. That's the only difference.
And the tourism numbers, 10 million a year.
Is that right?
10 million a year.
South Africa.
How many do we have?
I don't know.
We can't hit 2 million.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Although I have this theory, and I probably won't be welcome back in South Africa. I think Kenyans should go and run South Africa. Honestly, every time I go down there, I think, what an amazing country. Yeah. If only Kenyans are running this. Honestly, what they should do is just give us a contract. We'll give them the money later. Let us run that country. We'd fly.
We would.
That country would fly as well.
It's
anyway,
smoking.
My South African visa's just gone.
I know the High Commissioner.
Do you?
Yeah.
I need him because the guy at the South African embassy is
she. Lovely woman.
I'd love to meet her.
You have to meet her.
Because the guy there is quite chippy, the old guy behind the counter. For us,
right.
Us Spanner boys. He's a grumpy old guy. You know who you are.
He just heard you.
You know, the other day I went there to get a visa with the Kenya Film Commission. And they asked for the bank statements of the Kenya Film Commission. And I was like, buddy, do you really think it's a government corporation? Do you think that they're sending me there and they haven't got the money to... They asked me to go and busk on the side of a road.
Right.
You didn't find that funny.
Did you get the visa?
Eventually. Anyway.
Moving forward,
Yeah.
Obama comes. POTUS later this month. The Pope later in the year.
Yeah. Is the Pope confirmed?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. Are you Catholic?
I'm not Catholic, although interesting enough, I've learnt to really appreciate. As you know, I'm a practicing Christian, and I'm a great believer in the different denominations are different regiments in the same army. We have the same commander-in-chief, different regiment, and each regiment brings something beautiful to the army. And I love the ritual and reverence of the Catholic Church. I love that. Every now and then, every 5-6 months, I'll go to a Catholic church, and I won't tell them I'm not a Catholic because they won't give me mass otherwise. And I just love the reverence they have for God and their ritual, which there's a lot of symbolism in it.
And
so
this Pope, this character, this guy, he's incredible, huh?
You know, one of the things I love about him is this whole, he's a big exponent of liberation theology.
Yeah, he's a human being.
Liberation theology in South America transformed it. And I would love to see, and I've met some of our clergy here who understand liberation theology for what it is, which is doing what Christ said for the poor and marginalized in society. That you can't. Is everyone a coconut?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I got onto that. The Pope. Yeah. I think
that's right. Obama. Is he going to bring any good tidings? Do you think? There's anything good coming?
Well, one of our community have offered to marry him. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I want to go to that wedding. Outside chance, 1 in a million.
Billion.
Billion.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get to see him?
No, we're not. I mean, it's going to be photo ops. Best view, I think, is on TV.
I think
the best pictures.
I think you actually have to leave Nairobi. I'm not going to hang around Nairobi because I remember when Hillary came. I mean, I think they have those sort of blockers where
they shut everything down.
They shut everything down.
Yeah. And that was Hillary.
That was Hillary. So for president, even in Mandera, your mobile phone won't work. Forget it.
Even
Moyale, forget it.
On the Ethiopian border.
Yeah. And then we'll all blame Safaricom.
Yeah.
Bob, watch it.
Yeah. Cut down.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're playing catch up with the Chinese, aren't they? I mean, this is what they're doing. Let's be frank here. I mean, look. The other day, by the way, AGOA was reinstated. It was renewed.
And
right, Africa Growth and Opportunities Act.
And you know, one of the great guys who drove that, who passed away 2 weeks ago, is the late Dr. Ben Kipkorir. He was our ambassador in Washington who put AGOA on the table, drove it, passed on 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was one of Kenyan's champions.
Oh, God rest his soul.
Unsung heroes.
Yeah.
But AGOA, they're back there to put it there and to push it, and I think that's really exciting. You know what? I think they're smarting from the fact that they made an ill-advised decision in terms of dealing with our president early on in his administration, and I think that was regrettable. And I think they realised that, and they're playing catch up on that.
Major.
But also for Obama, really, how can you not come and see your relays eventually?
They're here.
They're here. We're
Grandma
here.
Sarah.
Grandma Sarah.
Hanging out.
Just waiting for you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you say you've changed. Kutoka ngambo sasa, you know what I mean, that story.
Absolutely. But the photo op, I think, between him and the president, that's going to go global. It's going to be huge, and the ripple effect, right?
Well, even now, I mean, look at our sovereign bond. Our sovereign bond was oversubscribed by 6 to 8 times.
Look at that.
And you know who the biggest guys who bought it? America and Europeans.
Yep.
Chinese, less than something like 2%. So you know what? They're doing business here, but do they really have the confidence to buy our bond? Interesting question.
Makes you want to think.
Makes you want to think, Jeff. But they're getting things done here. Anyway, I've got to be careful. I'll probably try and get one of their tenders one day, and they'll say, I saw you.
You were the one on that show.
Yeah, you.
With the salmon.
with the salmon pink tie. I tell you what, someone's going to laugh at me tomorrow.
How so?
Do you guys think this is salmon pink?
On TV, it looks like salmon.
Yeah?
But, nice salmon.
There we are.
Like Norwegian salmon.
Norwegian salmon. A whiff of smoke. Yeah, there we go. Way forward, what do you think?
Way forward, Chris. Way forward.
Does anyone ever ask you questions, by the way?
No. It's my show.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So, way forward.
Way forward.
Yeah. Is the state of the nation in a good place right now, midway through, with elections 2 years and change away? Are we in a good place?
I would say we're doing well in some areas. Infrastructure projects, I think we're doing phenomenally well. Other areas we're not doing very well. I'm very concerned by the level of debt that we've got. Although, of course, it's serviceable. I just really think the two crunch issues we need to sort out: security and corruption. If the government can deliver on those two, everything will follow that, because historically business in Kenya has done well despite government, not because of government. And you speak to any sort of businessman and they'll tell you that they survive despite the cost of power, despite the corruption, despite the cost of doing business. People have an aptitude here to push forward, and I think this government is very pro business, and that's why a lot of us voted for it, because they understood business and they understood what wealth creation is and what it does for the marginalized in society.
Could we do with less politics, or is that our religion? Is that our gospel?
I think Kenyan, it's a blessing and a curse. You go to some countries, they don't even know who their prime minister is. Switzerland, I mean, I don't even know Jacques Pilot, our Swiss ambassador, knows who the Swiss president is. They change every 6 months or something. You walk past them in the street without even knowing it. Whereas we know who our councillor was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? That's how Kenyans are. That was the councillor's sons, and it's there. But my big concern is I worry from a business perspective that we're going to overregulate this country. And what we're trying to do is, every time there's a problem, we throw new legislation at it. New legislation. Things don't change because of legislation. Things change because of mindsets. And we need to change with that. And a classic case is, if you look at what Mayor Giuliani did in New York with the crime levels. They had crime levels that made Johannesburg look like a party in the park. And he went in and used the whole principle of the broken glass theory, which you know about, which is, fine, we're not going to deal with the mobsters and the murders and the homicides. We're going to get rid of all the graffiti. We're going to make sure the lights work. We're going to clear up the rubbish. We're going to repair the broken glasses. And you suddenly find in that one street, crime levels dropped 80% overnight. And that is a low-hanging fruit we could do now. Rubbish, a classic case. Let's just do a Rwanda thing. Say, right, we're going to clear the rubbish up. Because once people start obeying the small little laws, the foxes in the vineyard, then it becomes easier. Suddenly the Matatus start obeying the traffic laws. And suddenly, anyway, you know where I'm going on this one. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
I like the foxes in the vineyard. That's nice.
That's biblical.
A good line.
Yeah.
Peter Atambo. Ask Chris what farm he has and how many acres.
Cheeky. I'll give him the LR number as well. Not. No. I won't disclose how many acres it is because it'll be small to some people. Will say, "Foot, you've been bragging you're a farmer." That's not even a farm. That's like my SQ. But we are very lucky to have a farm in the Rift Valley where we farm it. And people forget farmers need land.
What do you farm?
Farm a bit of forestry, a bit of wheat. And
molo lamb.
And molo lamb. So anyone who's selling molo lamb, you know what my big gripe is, and you know who you are, guys selling Dorper sheep as lamb. You know who you are. All you guys in Tamau, Laikipia, are saying that Dorper is a goat. From us guys in Molo, Dorper is a goat.
Good meat though.
It's not bad compared to Molo lamb. And also you see a lamb technically is when the second teeth come through, 6 to 7 months. So these guys come and bring a Dorper that's been walking around Northeastern for like 2 years. They're walking down to Nairobi. The thing is now a shore, and then they kill it and they say this is Molo lamb. And then people say, your Molo lamb's not what it used to be.
Shame. One more. Faisal Khalif says, ask Chris if he will become our Obama in Kenya.
There's a long way to go before that, but I will do everything I can. This is one of the exciting things. We've got so much opportunity to give back to this country. The number of people like you and I who came back from doing jobs overseas to come and build this country. And okay, we came back because of lifestyle choices. We certainly didn't come back because of money, but we came back because we believe in this country and we're passionate about it. And that for me just puts a smile on my face every day.
There's no substitute for that.
No substitute. Jeff, what a pleasure.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much.
What's your Koinange name?
Kiprop.
Kiprop.
Born in the rain.
Born in the rain?
Yeah. I was going to say something inappropriate, but yeah, born in the rain was good.
So you stopped yourself?
I stopped myself because I realized my relatives were watching. My uncle and aunt are watching. No, Kiprop, born in the rain.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Would you come back again?
Anytime,
And
Jeff.
come back on air, man. We need you on air.
We'll work on that.
Let's keep the conversation going.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
I always say, the minute we stop talking is the minute we start fighting.
Jeff, you're a sage. You're a wise sage.
Chris Foot, what a guest. What a show. What insights. This man literally has his finger on the pulse, and he calls it like he sees it without fear or favor. Keep tweeting at CKFoot. That's Kiprop. That's CK. At CKFoot. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag taking stock. Hope you've had a great time as I have had. Tomorrow night, right here on Inspiration Thursday, You know, this week was social media day, huh? This
That's
couple
right,
days.
yeah, yeah.
There's a kid, 25-year-old, who has surpassed my Twitter followers.
No,
Surpassed.
they must be Chinese followers. They can't be real.
His name is Extiendela.
From where?
His real name is Arthur Mandela. Extiendela. He's got like 580,000 followers.
Where's he from?
He's Kenya. He's look at
No.
that.
Jeff.
He's number one. So we're gonna have him tomorrow night. I'm gonna ask him, how did that happen? And a guy called Mark Kaigwa, young kids talking social media.
Keep encouraging them.
Tomorrow night, right here on Jeff Koinange Live. Keep watching, because you are watching Kenya's television network, KTN. Thanks for watching. Good night. Good luck.
Jeff, thanks so much.
Koinange.